on topics, whether conscious or cosmic. It's never nonsense, mega levels are microscopic. It's a Killah Priest project, AD control the rocket. Before we land the plane, many things we engage and explain. The unexplained, without mask. Welcome to the Killah Priest podcast. Killah Priest podcast.
What up? What up? What up? We are here again. You know how we say it at the Podcraft. Well, we are here again at the Podcraft, man. Welcome to another Podcraft episode. This is what we call this is Thursday weekend. So, you know, the weekend starts when you come to the Podcraft on Thursday. It's off the hook. It's going to be dope. We got incredible guest, returning guest. And this brother don't need no introduction, but I'm going to give him one because this brother, me and him go back like slacks, wave caps, and, you know, atmosphere, all those good things, man. But what's good with y'all, man? Shout out to everybody in the Podcraft that's coming through. The Rocketeers, shout out to y'all. I've been there for a very long time. Well, the craft board, call it the craft board. You know, the craft board. So salute, put some fire in the chat room. Y'all come in, put some fire if you're a craft board member or you're a Rocketeer. Let us know. Well, and for the newcomers, the subscribers went past 100K. So all y'all, man, thank y'all once again. If y'all are just coming in, I am your host, Killah Priest, Iron Sheik. Running the rock is not other than AD Dizzle.
Yo, what's good? Welcome back.
Yes, yo, man. So it's going to be, it's been a lot of stuff been going on this weekend. How's your weekend going into the week?
Good, man. It's productive.
Yeah?
Yeah,
that's good. I feel the same way. The stars are aligning right.
Yup.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I see fire. What else? Shout out to Ben Frank. I see you. What's good? And Nostradamus 18. I see you put fires in there. Salute to y'all, man. Salute to everybody. Hope everyone's in health and in good focus. You know, today, man, today is very special. Let me say this right. You know what I'm saying? Because we got the returning brother, the returning, I call him a god, or man, he's a guide, Sri Master Gano. You know what I'm saying? Sri Master Gano. He was here before. He's dropping so many jewels. He's a favorite over here at the Podcraft. And man, we're gonna get into it, man. We're gonna let y'all know our history. We go way back. We don't say it a lot though. You know what I'm saying? But we go way back. We got a lot of history. Sometimes brothers be going on, they be doing interviews. I like to have a conversation sometimes. Sometimes it's good just to sit back and relax and just talk. And it's good to build with this brother. This brother, I get a lot of insight, a lot of wisdom, a lot of knowledge, a lot of just otherworldly things that y'all don't understand. And the way that he breaks it down is so incredible. As y'all build up, I can't wait for him to come through. I'm going to give it a little bit more before I bring him in. And it's going to be great. How y'all been doing, man? What's going on with y'all weekend? This is y'all Thursday weekend, man. We here. So it's going to be good, man. It says, her history, relax, no doubt. Shout out to everybody. Yo, man, so everything been going good. New music. I can't wait to play something for the brother, too, man. I did something special, but, you know, we need to give all our great minds their flowers while they can smell them, while they hear. So it's always a good thing. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I got to say right there, man. And I heard him, no doubt. So without further ado, man, I'm going to bring on here, right, coming to the craft, is Sri Master Gano. Sri Master Gano. Peace, my brother. Yo, it's always yeah. You got a beautiful aura, bro. It's always a pleasure when you come on and you know, and talk to give us some insight, because I'm telling you, man, things be getting tired. The same old, talking about the same old, and going through things. You give a deeper insight and perspective on the way to see things, And I just want to let you know that, Or we got a dope.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. What they don't know is we got a nice, dope, deep history with each other, man. If y'all don't know, Sri Master Gano is humble beginnings. I let him tell it, but he's a member of the great Wu-Tang Clan. You know what I'm saying? So make some noise, man. How you doing, brother? Could you take us down memory lane a little
I'm
bit?
doing great, King.
Yeah, exactly. That's good, man.
Yes, just a little bit,
Yeah.
And Killah Priest, man, it's so good to be back on the Podcraft, and thank you so much for having me once again.
Exactly.
And that was a beautiful introduction. I really appreciate that. And also, I wanted to be the first to congratulate. Well, I know I'm not the first, but I wanted to congratulate you on your connection to the worldwide Wu-Tang Clan that was just inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So, Killah Priest is very, very much connected with the W. And if Killah Priest wanted to be part of Wu-Tang Clan in the beginning, he could have elected to do that, but he chose a different path. And there's so many different stories that we have about that. So congratulations, Killah Priest, because you're part of that legacy. And I hope that you're gonna be in the building, in Ohio when that night happens, King.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So much, man. Yeah, that was something else, man. That was something else how that took place. I saw New Edition up there too, man. I wanted them to get in there too, man. New Edition, I'm a big fan of them.
I know.
Also. Right, you too,
I
right?
know.
Yeah.
New Edition's been around. It's like 40 years, but I think the day's going to come, and I think that whenever it is, whether it's next year or within 5 years, it's going to be even sweeter because they definitely have their time coming, and they deserve it, man. They've been around for a minute, know.
Yeah, man. Yep. Well, we in there, man. We got up in there, man, and it's crazy because thinking way back and like what you just said, me choosing my path and everything. It was you was there, man. It was me, Master Killah,
right.
Cap. We all in the studio, man. We writing for Oompa. We call it Oompa there. A lot of people remember that as Mystery and Chess Box.
Wow.
Yeah, man. They
Right.
got some clips on there.
That was the original name of it.
Yeah, Oompa, right? So tell us your beginnings, man, because you go way back, man. Tell us, your genesis with that, with the whole W.
Well, in regards to the clan, I went to school with RZA's older brother King, and I used to hang out with his brother Divine. Divine is the one that really detonated the business aspect of the clan, and Divine Mitchell Diggs was the one that also formulated a lot of what was necessary, that laid the groundwork so that Wu-Tang could emerge from that. So Mitchell or Divine and I, we were really cool. And then, I started hanging out with his brother RZA a little further down the line because he was into hip hop, as was I. And I would say I remember riding on the 103 bus, which is no longer in existence. And RZA and I would ride on the back of the bus on our way to the mall. And we would talk about all of the things that, we had planned for the future. And at that time, which was interesting, this had to be around 80, 86, 87. I had an idea to create a group called the Five Deadly Venoms based on that movie. And it was myself, Rakim at the time, who was RZA now, a guy named Casual Lynn from the Lower East Side. My partner at the time, his name was Seldom Seen, short Puerto Rican dude, nasty with the lyrics. And one of the original members of the Force MCs named Lord K. Wan.
Wow.
That's what made up the Five Deadly Venoms. And we agreed to have this group. And I'm not saying that at all that that was the seed of what would later become Wu-Tang, because I believe in something called creative ubiquity, meaning that there are radiations in the atmosphere for whoever it is that's open enough and sensitive enough to reach up and grab it and pull it down and then water it with your action, intention, and otherwise, and bring it into the fruition of existence. Now it belongs to you because you were the first one to do it. So I'm sure that there were many people with the same idea of naming a group after, one of the martial art movies that we all love to watch on Saturday. And one of the things I would say is we never got a chance to do any demos together or anything like that. But a couple of years later, I remember RZA started formulating Wu-Tang Clan. I see him in Park Hill. And at that time in 91, I had a long white robe and I was an Ansar Muslim. I was down with, the Ya Ayyuhalabina Aminu Kunu Ansarullah from DeKalb Avenue. And I probably also could have been part of the clan, but I had already had, I was on my spiritual path even back then in 1991. RZA also asked me to do the Wu-Tang symbol, and I did it. And I have to say, I didn't give it my 100% all. Then he asked Michael McDonald, shout out to Lask. Lask also did a version. RZA didn't feel that. And then he went to mathematics. Mathematics was the third time in the charm. And he put a lot more energy, preface, and I believe he put his whole back into creating what would now be known as the Wu Bat, that's gone through various iterations of, if you talk to Ray Acosta, graphic fine tuning on mathematics is the one that actually did that. So, Wu-Tang Clan and Ghostface, Shaquan before he was Method Man, we all go back to the mid 80s. I remember when there was a job that we used to have, Method Man, myself, about 6 other dudes. We would have to meet in Park Hill, and it was a guy that would come and take us in a van to Brooklyn. I'm not sure what part of Brooklyn it was, but it was off Eastern Parkway. We would build staircases for these buildings or replace the staircases that were in the brownstones off of that particular Eastern Parkway. This is back in 86. This is before they were working in the Staten Island, not Staten Island, but the Statue of Liberty. And, Method and I, we had community service together. It was funny because I had started rapping again, and my name was the Anasticated Gravedigger. And he said, yo, RZA got a group called the Gravediggers. I'm like, what? What do you mean? That's my name. And he said, yo, I'm telling you, man. And this was about 6 months before the first single of the Gravediggers came. So this is, again, another example of creative ubiquity. Obviously, I didn't come up with or coin, the phrase Gravedigger, because I believe I had it first, and RZA also reached up to the same source of, creative ubiquity and put a lot more speed on it and, created a group out of it. So, we have, I was there before the beginning, and I watched them, a lot of sacrifices that, RZA had poured into the making of the clan, a lot of suffering, a lot of people had given up. I'm talking about the Wu members, all of them. They had to make a decision to kind of leave the streets alone and the fast money alone and things like that. But I have to say that all of them resignated themselves and assigned themselves to the belief that Wu-Tang could be something great. And, now here they are. So I've been along and watched the whole thing. I've had the very good fortune of traveling with them around the world, all throughout Europe, all throughout South America. And I've seen the reactions to the music. I've seen the reactions to what RZA assigned himself to when he locked himself in the basement for about a year and a half to 2 years. And he didn't come out very often. And he became a mad scientist. And he, formed the basis of Wu-Tang. But he had this plan that he was cooking up for a long time. So I'm not surprised that they were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, because he had all of the sacrificial elements that basically garner you end result of what it is that you're sacrificing for. He did that. And a lot of people still don't know, even with a 3-season series of the Wu-Tang American Saga, even with the 4-part docu-series of Mike's Dement, shout out to Sasha Jenkins in the Essence, even with the 8-part docu-series that I executive produced called Killah Hill, even with the another film that I executive produced about Wu-Tang at Red Rocks, we still don't know a lot of the secrets and a lot of the things that they've experienced, which makes them very, very enigmatic in the class of, I would say, a hip hop Earth, Wind, and Fire, if you will. They still have a lot of mystique that they just, have not allowed people to know about. But I think those things will come out in the future. And I also want to give a shout out, obviously, to ODB, Papa Wu, and Power, of course, because I believe the trilogy of their energy helped them to basically, have what was required in order for Wu-Tang Clan to be inducted,
Yeah, man, thank you for that, bro. That was deep. That was deep, yeah. And you had history with Power,
Yes,
Power too, right? Going back.
Oh, absolutely. Power and I were really, really good friends. And, when he was running around with Tarif, Teddy Ted, in the 80s, they were like Heckle and Jekyll. They were always together. And it was funny because even back then, I would look at them like those are some bad kids. They just had this aura about them. And it wasn't that they were bad, wink, wink, but they just, I think, had a very heightened sense of we got to get it while it could still get got. And, they were really, really fast paced. You know what I mean? I think there could be a series about just their life alone. You know what I mean?
Right.
Going back and forth to California, New York, and stuff. So, I really miss Power, man. I'm going to miss him, and he was a real force to be reckoned with on this planet. That's for sure.
Out, man. Yo, taking it back to man, I got so many questions. Killah Hill, whatever happened to that? That never came. I remember hearing about that. Killah Hill. You said you produced that. You co-produced that one. Killah Hill, the movie.
Produced it,
Executive,
yes.
yeah, exactly.
Meaning, we had to kick up the dough and finance it. And
Right.
I'm still learning about being a better executive producer. But Killah Hill was Gerald Barkley's seed and baby. He's the one that came up with it. So it was originally a documentary, and he wanted to reorganize it. And I said, why don't we turn it into a docuseries? Because there were so many different prequels and stories that weren't touched upon in the first documentary, and we started putting the elements of it together and getting a lot of the groundwork done, because a lot of all of those stories are true, but you have to make sure that the families are okay with some of the the criminology of that being okay. So they ultimately had to sign off on it, and that was definitely a task. And then there was an opportunity. Divine wanted to film Wu-Tang at Red Rocks, which was the Wu-Tang Clan doing 36 chambers in front of a 60-piece orchestra at an amphitheater in Denver, Colorado. So that in turn put the 8-part docuseries on hold. And then we spent another 2 years putting that film together. And that was a lot of back and forth between New York and LA, and putting it together along with RZA, myself, and Gerald Barkley, who was the director of the film, along with RZA. And there were about 26 different edits before they actually went into picture lock. So that was kind of grueling, but I believe that it's a classic that will generate more momentum over time, especially with new people finding out about the clan every day. The 8-part docuseries Killah Hill is, I don't know if it's still on Tubi, but you can look it up and see if it's still there. And myself, Method Man, Capadonna, and Raekwon are narrating the 8-part docuseries. Really, really interesting look at some of the elements that made Wu-Tang Clan who they are and what they had to live through and survive. And I would analogize them as to being roses in the concrete. Everybody in the clan isn't from the Hill. I would say 1/3 of the clan, a little more than 1/3 is from Park Hill and
Mm.
Stapleton, which happens to be right next door. But there are a lot of unsung heroes that lent their blood, sweat, and tears to that W also that are affiliated and part of Wu-Tang family forever.
Yo, man, great. Yo, you said some names in the beginning, like you said, you didn't say Corey yet, but you said Teddy and everybody. You know them before the transition came because we know him today as Raekwon. Could you give us a little history about when the 5% Nation and how they were influenced by the 5% Nation and how that came into play?
Well, one of the things that I remember is, they got knowledge of the 5% doctrine early, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Right.
Divine, who was Riz's brother, his older brother, again, who detonated and sparked off the clan, had, I believe, knowledge itself when he was 14. So back then,
Mm.
you had to cipher the 120 and be really, really good at it.
Uh-huh.
And that was a thing back then where, Ghostface, RZA, Raekwon, Shaquan, uh, and Just Jizza,
Mm.
they had knowledge back then. I think that the memory that's required, knowing the 5%
No
and being
cell
able to build
phones.
with some of the older gods that were around at the time. Say again?
And they were doing this without no cell. I was just saying, no cell phones to look on. You have to remember the date. Like, what's today's math? You can just look at your cell phones
Right.
back then. The memory it required. Go ahead. Sorry to break it.
You know,
Just had to add that.
there was none of that. There was none of that, Killah Priest.
Right.
And the thing is, I think it built a real fervor, and it also built a certain part of the mind, the psyche, the brain that is required to extend your bandwidth. That was the foundation that gave them the belief that anything and everything could happen, anything was possible. And also ODB, also, when he was Unique A son, he was a lot more serious, and he was, you know, all in together now, which was Jizza, you know, just Allah just was the Jizza's righteous name. Rakim and ODB, they were very on it. They definitely lived by those tenets. Another memory that I have also was Capadonna. Capadonna was one of the flyest dudes just before Ghostface really started, showing people how to put things together. But Capadonna, we called him OG, original, from
Mm.
DMD, the Money Doctors. That was the crew. And in '86, man, and he was, he had these thick eyebrows, and he was always well dressed. And we looked up to Capadonna because Capadonna also had a lot of lyrics back then. So, when there was a place on Beach Street called uh was it Park Villa? I believe it was Park Villa, where they would have rap battles, so Pop the Brown Hornet, Down Low Record. A lot of the people from Stapleton, which is right next door to the Hill, would battle people from Park Hill. And this was also during the rec room era of Park Hill with the disco tizers and DJ Kryptonite, who a lot of people don't remember. So these guys really came up in that era. And there's another unsung hero also. I still don't know to this day why he is not part of the Wu-Tang Clan lineup, and that's Scotty Waddy.
Ooh.
He's going to get mad at me for calling him government, but I'm going to be illegal with it just to get on his nerves. Scott Regis,
Wow.
Scotty Waddy was probably the first, and I think him and Just a la Just Jizza, they were rapping way before a lot of people, or some of the people in the clan, had even started. Method Man started, Raekwon was the one that sparked Shaquan at the time, who later on became Method Man to start writing. His first rhymes with Raekwon when he was, a shorty. So a
Mm.
lot of these people, RZA was able to identify the fervor that these guys had. And he also, I think, there was a time where Wu-Tang Clan didn't really have a sound. There was a time where I think that if you listen to the earlier demos from 91, maybe 92, it was very, very flat. Now, I can't prove this. I'm only using deductive reasoning. Around 92, the tracks became isolated, and then you could hear the personality start to come out. You can hear Raekwon's gruff come out. And Power was the one also, and I hope Ray doesn't get mad at me, that used to have to fire up Raekwon, like, yo, you got to finish your verse, man. You got to put some more heat on that. You know, Power was always on Raekwon's back about making sure that he gave a thorough estimate of his lyrical ability. And I think that, you know, Raekwon puts a lot of Wu in the Tang in terms of his skin in the game, his ethics, and he always was a spokesman that had a lot to say. And if he didn't have anything to say, he would make up something to say, just go off the top of the head. You know what I mean? So these guys collectively came together. You have to remember something about Wu-Tang Clan, that their history goes back because U-Guard's mother and Power's mother and RZA's mother, their mothers knew each other. And they go back to, you know, some of them go back to the 70s, the late 70s, and they were in IS 49, which is like right in the middle of Park Hill, literally in Stapleton. That's where a lot of them, you know, were in the same class. Shout out to Sheldon Henry, if you're watching. So these are childhood friends. And if you look at the success of Wu-Tang, it mirrors that of the success of New Edition. Shout out to New Edition.
Yes, I always
because
say
they
that.
also knew each other from boys, young boys, you know, and they still have, you know, of course, they've gone through a lot of their fights and arguments and things like that. But ultimately, now as elder statesmen in their late 40s and 50s, you know, there is a real brotherhood there. So the enigmatic nature of how rare the Wu-Tang Clan alignment is and synonymous with New Edition, that's unheard of. You don't get a chance to have your childhood friends and then grow up through adolescence and then become young men and then have the detonation and the full actuation of your dreams coming true. That doesn't happen. The odds of a Wu-Tang being able to come into existence, the odds of that are in the hundreds of billions to one. So whenever you look at or hear anything that is affiliated with Wu-Tang Clan, you're looking at a very unlikely event. Just in the way, like last Sunday, we got together for the Crescendo Awakening series, and I was explaining to people, a lot of people are not in this room because there were 5 to 6 planets that just went direct in Aries. And that hasn't happened in a long time. So as a result of that, if you know the god Aries, he's a god of war. And if people are not aligned by 51% having their consciousness balanced and their scales balanced, there's going to be a turmoil of turbulence that basically resists the homeostasis of balance that comes out. And I know because I don't know if I should talk about this publicly.
Please
Let's just say I haven't got into an altercation with anyone in years. You know, I've learned how to see and outsmart a conflict, but I was very, very close, Killah Priest, to getting into a physical conflict, which was the old Gano, because of that planetary direction of Aries. I've seen people get into fisticuffs. My hairdresser, whose name I'm not going to say, had got into an altercation. So a lot of people were killed during that planetary alignment of 5+ planets going direct into Aries, and it hasn't even reached its peak yet. So I would say to all of your listeners, this is a really good time to make sure that you sandwich your day with some type of spiritual practice that allows you to stay calm. Think 2 or 3 times before you act or react to anything, especially if it is with aggregation and being upset, because you might not be able to get out of the repercussion of your spontaneity and, you know, how you feel at the moment. I don't know when this energy is going to peak, but it's many times worse than a Mercury retrograde hybrid of a planet that is closer to Earth, like Pluto, that brings a lot of things to the surface that may have been dormant within the psychology of people who were not balanced and do not have divine affiliation in order to not be influenced by the turbulence of those planets.
So we're in the peak of it this weekend. It started last night, and it goes until Monday, right? Apparently until 420. So this is the weekend to where we're in a pocket, basically, of a lot of Aries energy, mostly because today, like, the moon's in Aries now also. So we're in a pocket, and this hasn't been recorded in history ever. In the past 20,000 years,
Really?
they have never seen this type of, I don't want to say alignment, but group of planets all in Aries. So it's like, history making.
Direct.
Right? Yeah, correct.
Oh, yeah. Yes, AD. Thank you so much for that validation, and just be mindful, be aware, breathe through any conflict, and don't fall victim to the invitation of chaos that is going to be so prevalent, at this time. That's a fact.
That's dope. That's dope. Yeah, you mentioned, man, RZA asked you to do some form of the logo, W or anything.
Yes.
Yeah. So, what happened with that? Yours was it? Yeah. Let us know about that, and then we're gonna get on the path because following your path right now. We're following the street.
Right.
We're gonna get to the
Right.
Yeah.
Well, when RZA came to me and asked me, he knew that at that time I was a graffiti artist, and I was still on my Dean of Law at the time. But he knew, he really was really good at marshaling the resources that surrounded him. You know what I mean? So I would be in Park Hill selling oils and incenses and, tabliking people, as they say, which means, teaching people about the Deen and different things that I felt were spiritually important at the time, even in 1991. So he asked me to come up. He told me, the name of the group, Wu-Tang Clan. He told me his idea. And I half-heartedly, just do something together. And to be honest with you, I didn't believe in Wu-Tang Clan. I didn't believe in the vision. I remember when they were doing Protect Your Neck. I was on my way to the ferry. Now, I don't know who it was that told me this. Yo, man, your Wu-Tang is doing their video. I'm like, get out of here. And,
I said the same thing about the Beatles.
About it now. You see what I mean?
Right. Go ahead.
And it's like, look, Priest learned a really valuable lesson about never doubting anyone or anything. I still regret not going there and being in the video because I had an invitation.
Right.
And I also have regrets that I'm not punishing myself about it, but I mean, I have experienced regret for years about not putting my all into the Wu symbol. But it just wasn't my destiny. But it is a story that I definitely can tell that taught me something bigger. I also learned one of the many reasons, AD and Killah Priest, that I became an executive producer was because there were a few people at the time that could have been that missing link to what Power created and what he was to the Wu symbol. But Power beat everybody to the punch. And it was because of his alignment with Divine, who's RZA's older brother, who called him, was like, listen, you said you want to do this. You said you want to get out the streets. You said you want to legitimize. We got to move now. And Power responded to that because he knew what kind of man Divine was. He knew his resolve. And he knew and believed that what RZA was doing would pay off. So he had the perspicacity to know that the sacrifices that RZA was making back then and the courting, because, he had to court all of these men in a way that meaning, he had them come over to his house. He would go see them. He had to arrange and amalgamate the formula and the formation, and also basically show these guys, like, listen, man, if you guys believe in me, I can take you guys so because I already shoved up the plan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the lesson that I learned really vicariously through power was, if I ever have a chance to executive produce something beyond my disbelief in its existence, I'm going to take advantage of that opportunity because I have seen the payoff worldwide of what that has created. I've seen the dynamics of how the world responds, irregardless if it is in the oldest country in Europe, in Belgrade, Serbia, or if it's in Chile, South America, or right here in Brooklyn, New York. The reaction to the alchemy sonically that RZA created back in 1992 is the same, which shows that the physics of that commitment is what people are responding to, even to this day. So what do we learn from that? We learn that when you impregnate and formulate something with the intention of your full heart chakra, it becomes eternal. And, you know, there's so many lessons about Wu-Tang Clan, and I'm very, very grateful for the sacrifice that all of the members have poured into it, because it's something that just continues to teach.
Right, right. So if you would have done that, right, you'd have done the logo and it would have worked and everything. Do you think that not getting that right or doing that it aligned you to the path of being a Shri Master?
No, definitely not. There were three things that, you know, if they were not aligned just the way they were, by the way, to complete the question, the answer to the question, Killah Priest, when I gave my half-hearted, haphazard, you know, request to RZA, he looked at it, he was like, nah, my God, you know, you could do better than that. And I was just like, you know, and I just basically wasn't interested in it. And then he went to Lask. And I don't know what Lask's story is, and I couldn't speak for him. But had I been the one to create the Wu symbol, I think it would have altered my destiny in becoming Sri Master Gano. Let's take it a little bit further. If my thought form at the time, which was this, if that had succeeded, the 5 Deadly Venoms with myself, Casual, and Lord K1, Seldom Seen, and Rakim at the time, if that became the precursor to Wu-Tang Clan, I would not be Sri Master Gano Grills today. Thirdly, if I availed myself to say, yo, I want to be part of that, I could have been. If I was part of the original Wu-Tang Clan lineup, I would not have become Sri Master Gano Grills. So it's very interesting that, you know, let's share something else. If we look at Run DMC, who was the first to do many things in hip hop, some of them have not been repeated. You look at Run, DJ Run, who was the son of Curtis Blow. If you know the story, he broke his arm because he was the DJ to Curtis Blow. And Russell Simmons was smart enough at the time to create a tour. It was a tour to Europe. And because Run, DJ Run, who was the DJ for Curtis Blow at the time, he couldn't go on tour. He had to sit it out. And Davey DMX, not Darkman X, Earl Simmons, but the original Davey DMX had to fill in for DJ Run and go on that tour. Now, Run could have gave it up, but he didn't. He went up to his attic and he got more in tune with his childhood friend, DMC, and they just rehearsed routines and they continued to write and hone and do their thing, only for Curtis Blow to come back and Run DMC. I remember when they detonated, man. I was still in high school, late 1982, and a friend of mine, Kevin Haney, had an iRock Camaro, and I remember him playing Sucker MCs and It's Like That, which are the first singles from Run DMC. Now, Run DMC was the KT extinction level event that destroyed the 5-man, 4-man, 6-man group.
Talk about it. Oh, man.
Hip hop became something completely different when they arrived. And I remember that they stripped away all of the, you know, the live music and just had it down to the base. Shout out to Larry Smith, who created that. But I remember, again, Run DMC surpassed Kurtis Blow by leaps and bounds because he stayed in the game and he created with his heart chakra. And again, there's a song, 8 Million Stories in the Naked City. Remember that song, Killah Priest?
Remember, yes, definitely. Yeah, that was the joint.
So if you listen to that song, right?
Yep.
It's a great song. There's a long form version of that song that's about 5 minutes and 20-something seconds. I was just listening to it in the gym, and the song brought me back because Kurtis Blow has the first verse. And after the first verse, he's like, oh, they go my homeboys, Run DMC, man. And, he crosses the street and he daps Run and DMC up. And DMC lovingly, respectfully, earnestly says, hey, yo, man, I heard you got a new record coming out, man. And Kurtis Blow says, yeah, man, it's called 8 Million Stories, man. But, I need some help. Why don't y'all brothers help me rhyme? And DJ Run and DMC, oh, yeah, man, I'm down to go. Yo, we got you, man. And then they go into their verse. But when you listen to DMC's voice and how earnest he was about just being in support of Kurtis Blow and helping him out, because if it wasn't for the misfortune of Run breaking his arm, there probably never would have been a Run DMC, man. So the reason that I bring this out is sometimes the loss or the sacrifice that may be temporary we take, or the insurmountable sit out that we have to go through, is the blessing in disguise that is the cake that is baking in the oven that has your name on it. That's going to be very delicious. So you have to believe in divine providence and divine timing and just keep your heart open,
Listen up, audience. Listen to the audience. This is Jules right here. Man, that's crazy. Don't worry about if your path may seem like it's changing. The brother is a living testament of that prospering to something incredible. Gano Grills, from Gano Grills, you're transitioning from Gano Grills, not doing all that, into a Shree Master. Take us to that journey, brother, because I would love to hear that, man.
Well, when I stopped being an MC, it was a fallout. I had a group that I created around the same time that Wu-Tang Clan was created. We were back and forth, and we were all aware of each other. I actually have footage of us and Wu-Tang Clan, just congratulating each other. And I think that from 1993, when Capadonna first came home, and I was asking, him how it felt to be home, we were full-fledged Field Nigga Soup. That was the name of the group. This is 1993, but we had a few demos and we had some moderate success, and we were on our way. But one of the guys in the group, who was one of my closest and dearest friends still to this day, he was upset because I was still doing plays at the time. I was still an actor, and I still was juggling being an MC and being an actor, going back and forth of doing plays and then coming back to do practice, and so we could do our demos and hopefully create an album one day. So after him being fed up that I was a little late to practice to my own group that I created, he looked at me and said, Gano, you're not really an MC. You're an actor, acting like a rapper. And I stood there and lightning struck my body, figuratively speaking, because I was so upset at the audacity of him to tell me that, but it shut down my desire at that time that wanted MC. I said, you know what? I left my own group, and I'm like, you can have it. I'm done. And I went back to continuing being an actor. And around 95, 96, I was still doing a lot of plays. I was, I guess, the original male vixen, if that's a thing. And I was in a lot of rap videos at the time. And I'm the guy in the Killing Me Softly video with Lauryn Hill and the Fugees, and I'm in the bathroom stall and the girl yanks me in. And I was wearing the same exact thing for the Bahamadia video, where she mentions Method Man, but meanwhile, I'm in the song also wearing the same thing that I wore in the 25,000 to 1, which means that there is an alternate intelligence that directed that hypothesis, if it were a real thing, to happen. There are people and things and actions and events and thoughts taking place on this earthly plane that are exactly reminiscent of those computations that higher beings are connected to. So to answer your question, me being Sri Master Gano again had nothing to do with my desire, because I was busy trying to be an actor, trying to be, a failed actor becoming successful. And so much of my identity was tied up in me wanting to be like my other brothers, Jeffrey Wright, Forrest Whitaker, Isaiah Washington, so many actors that we all came up together. But again, like my path was subverted and put on another groove, and I wouldn't trade anything. It happened, and I think the purpose of me being a divine avatar and a spiritual advisor to me is a lot more fortuitous and spiritually fulfilling than me being a successful actor. So I wouldn't trade it at all, because I feel like I am on and in my divine purpose.
Man, that's powerful. That's powerful, man.
Is this you right here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah.
Pretty fast, AD.
Yeah, AD's on point, man.
I was too fast for the computer. That's why I had the difficulty there.
Ah,
That's
Hey,
yes, the hand is quick. Look at that. The hand is quicker than the eye.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope.
Wow.
You've been
Look
in a
at
couple, movies.
Yeah, I've been in a lot of videos, brother. A whole lot. Yes.
Yeah, man. I remember watching you. Well, let me see. Well, you was in you was in the American Saga, the Wu-Tang movie.
I did a cameo in it, and I believe it was the 3rd season. And I called Riz and I'm like, listen, man, I want to do something in there. And he said, all right. And there was an opportunity that came, and I think it was very auspicious because Mario Van Peebles was directing it at the time. And shout out to Mario. He's really a consummate, talented professional since a little boy. And he's the son of Melvin Van Peebles. And they have a grandson who is going to be even more talented and formidable because he embridles, I think, the amalgamation of all of their talents together. But I had a nice little cameo as a director, and it was a lot of fun being on there. So I played my part on the show, and I was on the set a lot, just watching the creative process of that show coming into fruition, man. And it was really, really beautiful to see. And they still have a lot more. RZA doesn't want to. I asked him if he would like to do a Wu-Tang movie, and he says, he would prefer that a movie about ODB come out. And before Michael Kenneth Williams transitioned this life, he wanted to be ODB. Him and Tracy Morgan were going back and forth about, who would make a better ODB. And, Mike had high hopes and aspirations to hopefully be that if it ever came into fruition,
There's another comedian I heard about that was going to play ODB, and he rehearsed the lines and everything. He was going into it. You remember what comedian was that?
Right.
Malcolm and
yeah.
right.
I'm sure there's a few people that can that can embody that.
What's my brother that played Malcolm? The comedian talks kind of fast. Look at the Western. I don't want to throw it off, but yeah, as a comedian, I know I heard it, something like that. Yeah, that'd have been crazy. That'd have been crazy. I can't remember his name right now, though. Man, I'm just so tripping right now, though. But yeah, taking us down that memory lane is incredible, man. And so,
Yes.
yeah, man, that's real heavy. See, cats don't even understand. There's a lot to it than just, Street Master and Heavy Mental and the Wu-Tang 8 diagrams. You know what I'm saying? Just all of this that accumulates into doing this, man. Last time you was on here, you had an event that you were doing. It's like a gathering or something. I remember we was talking about it a little bit. Did that go through? How was it?
Yes, we started, what we were doing is every Sunday in April 5th, 12th, 19th, and 26th. We've already completed 2 of them.
Right.
And we have, the next one is coming up this Sunday, and it's called the Crescendo Awakening Series. And it's from 12 o'clock to 4. And what that encompasses is I am showing a 48-minute excerpt from one of my mini seminars that we have filmed. Then we do a brief Q&A about the content of what they saw.
Wow.
And then we go into, we're giving everybody sound healing, reflexology, chair massages. And there was a very talented ear acupuncturist who places these seeds in your ears that actually help your biology. It's very, very interesting. And, free vegan food, and it's completely free. And this is something that we've been doing, and it's my personal give back, our give back to humanity. And it's a very important principle in helping people to have a taste of what our movement has to offer. And then May 15th, 16th, and 17th, right next door at the Cumble Theater, we're going into our big seminar weekend. It's not free, but it's a full-blown testament of what it is that I teach. And the first seminar is going to be called Death, Money, and Dreams. There's another seminar that same day, later on that day, called Words of Power, which is divine utterance. And Saturday, which is the next day, I have a healing modality called Ultrana Hara Reiki, levels 1, 2, and 3. Which is very, very formidable. And lastly, on Sunday, I have a seminar, which is the 3rd installment of Exalted Beings, and it's called The Gods. Everything and anything that you didn't know about higher beings that are called the gods. I have that data, and I will be sharing it with the attendees of the seminar. And lastly, we are doing something called the Order of Hypernectar L Magic. It is a legitimate order that is really, really powerful. And, when you look at an order, there's like the Order of the Red Dragon, the Order of the Golden Dawn, the Order of the Illuminati, which is a negative order, according to a lot of people. And I wouldn't, I've been invited to be part of that, and I've always turned it face down. I don't want anything to do with that. But the Order of Hypernatural Magic is lorded over and supervised by higher beings who are more powerful than your biblical gods. And they allow the initiates of that particular order to basically prepare their consciousness to be very much higher on the Jacob's ladder of creation, to basically overturn the human default program and become a higher being yourself. That's a really, really fascinating seminar that's going to round out that particular seminar weekend, which is May 17th, right here in Brooklyn, New York. And for anybody who is interested, this is a flyer or the schedule. If you take a picture of the QR code, which is right here, it'll take you to.
Check it out. Take that code.
It'll take you to the
Move it more.
the website.
Move it more in front of the camera.
Yes. You see it there?
There you go. And then you can go a little bit closer.
Okay.
And that way they'll be able to, that should work.
Yes. So that's the QR code. That'll take you to the website, and all of the information is there. And, I'm really looking forward to meeting people. We have people, whenever we do seminars, guys, people come from around the world. They come from Europe, they come from the Netherlands, they come from the islands, they come from all around, they come from Japan. And it is the closest thing that you could get to meeting your spiritual family, which has a lot of ashe and benefits, because the energy of that fuels you anywhere from 6 to 9 months. And it just gives you a very, very heightened sense of I would say bliss and euphoria, but a spiritual battery is really important. It's important for us to have a source of inspiration and light so that we don't forget our divine birthright, which is to basically pursue being all that you can be dynamically and spiritually instead of just settling for being, a 2.0 biped that is going to die one day without full autonomy and recall of past lives and basically having a passport to reincarnate on a world, not a planet like Earth.
Man, there's a lot said. Now, before we had started, we have this flyer, or you gave us a flyer. We want to show that. Is it a good time to show it?
I'll get it.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
I want you to elaborate on it. Man, there's so many pockets and layers to this enlightenment that you are hitting us with, man. It's phenomenal, man. I want to just open up and just let you go, man. Let you go. I know things is like, it's heavy, man. The way, yeah, man. It's just, you were speaking about the Aries, and I want to go deep into that, but we're going to have to need a whole another show for that, man, for real. But I want to tap on some of it. Yeah.
If I could, I would just urge people, and you can let me know,
okay,
when the video is ready so I can kind of style me up. But there's a lot of people who feel that they are gods or that they are enlightened. And that's one of the biggest accepted misnomers that there are, because if you are enlightened already, you don't have anything to aspire to. And if you are a human god on earth, that would be analogous to my 8-year-old granddaughter announcing that she's a grown woman. Just because she says it does not mean that it's true. You know what I mean? So there are things that we have to do in order to make that a reality. And one of those things is to become spiritually educated enough so that we can build upon our consciousness and make it formidable so that we can control the elements. We can control the forces of reality, because that's what the gods did, literally, that once walked the face of our planet during the times of Zeptepi, which is the last time that gods openly walked amongst the men. Not even full-on gods, actually, but they were demigods. And there's a big difference between a full-on god and a demigod and a Lord God and a god with a small g and a god with a big G. So we have a lot of history in this simulation that people are not privy to, but during our seminar weekend, we're going to basically rip down the curtain and edify people on that. I showed a video last week at the theater that shows a surveillance footage, and this is way before AI was so available the way that it is now. But I showed the audience an old surveillance captured footage of a man walking down a block, and somebody was ready to rob this guy. And the guy walked up behind him and snatched the guy's knapsack, the victim, wrestled him to the ground, and a 9-foot gargoyle emerged from the victim's body and scared the guy to death. And the guy ran off, and the gargoyle descended back into the body of the host. Now, a lot of times when I'm conducting a seminar, there have been lots of people who have sheepishly, reticently told someone else, or sometimes they'll come to me and say, Sri Master, I saw Tahuti emerge out of your body when you were up there, and I thought I was seeing things. Some people have seen the god Lord Ganesha superimposed over my body to about 20 feet as I'm conducting a seminar. When I cut chords with an off-world instrument that I lovingly refer to as the dagger, there are 2 archangels on my right-hand side and left-hand side that basically add their hand to the voltage of this off-world instrument that cuts people free from their chords. And a lot of people, when I put that dagger on their aura field, a lot of people begin to weep. A lot of people feel like there are 30 fur coats of energy that have been simultaneously melted away by virtue of this instrument. And they also feel the flutter of the angelic wings of the archangels that are behind me that are basically guiding my hand about where where the cords need to be cut at. So it's very, very interesting. The reason that I brought up the example of the man in the surveillance footage that had the gargoyle inside of him, it's the same ability, or it's the same right, or the same, it basically validates what people see as I'm conducting the seminar. It's called a positive hypercohabitation. When you have a divine archetype that is inside of your body, people who have dormant abilities are made to see it. And other people whose spirit guide sees it, they basically remove the veil from your optical acuity and allow you to see it so that it can substantiate your faith and basically validate exactly what it is that you're seeing. So the reason that I say this, Killah Priest, is because there will be some people who watch this and will want to attend the seminar. Yeah. I don't want anyone to be freaked out by what it is that they may experience. This is all hyper-natural magic, and it is a real occurrence. But really what it is also is it is an invitation for you to realize that it's not just El Quran or the Alien Bible or the Bible of the Nicaea Council. There are many, many different edicts and writing scrolls and tablets that far predate the former three writings that I am talking about, that have far more validity to what it is that they are talking about. This is the old world before the flood. And if you can imagine, our planet looked completely different before the 3 floods happened on this planet. And also we were a lot longer lived. Forget about Methuselah, who lived for 960 some odd years. We lived for thousands of years, whether you want to believe it or not. And that particular way of life, my training commander is sending me a message.
Okay.
That way of life is something that is no longer in existence, but there are certain people who still have that connection. I'm going to ask your audience just a little bit of trivia. Who do you think those people are that still have the long-lived DNA to live thousands of years right here on planet Earth? Drop it right down there in the comments, and I want to see who's paying attention and if anybody can come up with the right answer.
Let's see, y'all. Put y'all to the test. Come on, Craft.
Absolutely.
Craft room don't make us look bad.
Also, Killah Priest, if anybody has any particular questions, I like to answer questions to be of assistance. If I'm always answering questions, and if it's something that I can edify you on, I would be happy to do it, because I charge a lot of money for consultations, and some people can't afford that. And that's how much I don't want to do consultations. I would much rather prefer to speak to a room full of people, because it's the best use of my time. So, if you have a free shot, take advantage of it.
Man, yeah. So if y'all got any questions, man, hit that super chat also. You have the Sri Master Gano right here. He just gave it up to y'all, man, so y'all can ask him a question. He charges a lot of money, man, for this type of knowledge. Man, this is beautiful, my brother. Word. This is beautiful.
Thank you.
Let's see.
Someone
Someone said the Sand People.
The what people?
The Sand People.
The sand?
Yeah, Sand.
No,
S-A-N,
no,
I think.
not the sand people.
Right, gotcha.
Yeah, I don't. Oh, the sand people. No.
Right.
Good question.
Cool. Yeah.
Good answer,
Aztec,
rather. Nice
the Asiatic black man.
No, we're still here. We're still
Right,
here.
right.
And unfortunately, our lifespans, cut down to the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. It's very, very seldom that you see an elderly black man with his full gait. You don't see 110-year-old black men that look like they're 50, 60. We rarely see that. So no, it wouldn't be us.
This is Alex, all good. The Dogon. says the Dogon.
The
That's fine.
Dogon. No, it is not the Dogon. May the gods bless the Dogon. It is not them. But, I'll
I'm
just
not
give
even
you the
solo
answer.
facts. You
Okay.
gonna trip? Go ahead, God bless. He said the Chinese people.
What did he say?
He just said
the
Chinese people. Yeah.
Yeah. The Asian people, who are our descendants or cousins, definitely are a little longer lived than us, and they have a better command of the chi and what's possible. And I think their diet shows that, as well as their Tai Chi and their martial arts and the demands that they put on their elderly bodies. But it is a group of people known as the Argarthans who live inside of the planet. They live into the thousands. They still have, they could still live up to 4,000 or 5,000 years old.
Wow. That's
There's
crazy.
not a lot written about them either. And maybe I'll write a book about them one day.
That's heavy. That's heavy. The Algothans. That's heavy. There it goes. Yeah. Well, they still coming in, the old Mex. He just gave it to us. The Algothans. Yeah, that's heavy, man.
Yes, absolutely.
Man.
Absolutely.
That's some deep knowledge, man. I'm gonna have to talk to you after this. After the show. Get into that.
Yeah, you know how we build, man.
Yeah.
We build for hours, Killah Priest.
Yeah, man. This is beautiful. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna show the clip of what you
By
said.
the way, AD, is this the short?
The vault is
short
the
minute
three
one or
pillars
just
of
the
hidden
4
power.
minute one?
Our galactic
Sorry, say again.
Okay.
Say
Oh
again.
no, I have my answer. So real quick, if I may introduce it.
Yeah.
Sure.
This is a long form 4-minute ad that gives the descriptive elements of the death, money, and dreams. And I want to see if you guys recognize the voice of the very first one.
Okay.
I also want to give you guys not a warning, but a caveat. The caveat is there are certain parts of this particular video that are going to feel very uncomfortable to watch. But I want you to, fortify yourself, tighten up your britches, and power through it and allow the imagery and listen with your heart as well as your ears and just take it in. And I'd be happy to answer any questions that may arise after that. Okay, this is very, very unusual what you are about to take in. It's only 4 minutes.
Okay, here we go.
This is the
The
world
vault
premiere, by
is
the
the
way.
three pillars of hidden power. A Galactica seminar sealed for 12 years. Unleashed now. 3 zones where your lack of knowledge does not simply limit you, it costs you daily, continuously, in ways you may not yet have the language to name. And this seminar will dismantle everything you were told about death, the event most will face, the door some will walk around entirely. Death is coming for the vast majority of souls walking this planet. This is accepted, this is expected. What is not accepted, what has been buried, mocked, and erased from the mainstream record is the undeniable, evidence-backed truth that select individuals throughout human history have bypassed death entirely. Not metaphorically, not allegorically, literally. They did not die. They transitioned. They stepped through a threshold that ordinary consciousness cannot locate, and they arrived somewhere else, whole, intact, and fully aware. This is not mythology dressed up as fact. This is suppressed history, documented, verifiable, and waiting to be placed in your hands. We will show you the evidence. We will show you the proof. And for those of you, that smaller, remarkable percentage who feel in your bones that death is not your destiny, we will explain with clarity and precision how this is possible and what it requires of those who would walk that road. This is not a conversation about afterlife theories. This is a master class in transcending the ultimate limitation.
Less than 3% of the human population will ever experience what it means to hold $1 million. 3% on a planet of billions. In a world swimming in resources, overflowing with abundance, pulsing with creative financial energy. 3%. This is not an accident. The financial system of planet Earth in 2026 is a carefully constructed architecture, engineered, maintained, and protected by a ruling class whose power depends entirely on your not knowing what we are about to teach you. What flows through this seminar does not come from Wall Street. It does not come from business schools, motivational podcasts, or the recycled wealth mindset content you've already encountered 1,000 times online. This comes from higher beings, intelligences not aligned with the cabal, sources that the ruling class cannot touch, cannot corrupt, and cannot silence. What you will receive in this seminar are mystical, practical, proven modalities for dismantling financial instability at its root. Not patching it, not managing it, but eliminating it permanently. We will show you how to overturn the generational architecture of lack that was installed in your bloodline, your belief system, and your behavior, and replace it with a relationship to abundance that is sovereign, sacred, and self-sustaining. This is not inspiration. This is technology.
Dreams, the nightly portal. 96% of humanity ignores. Every night, you enter a state of consciousness so extraordinary, so loaded with intelligence, power, and navigable dimensional energy that the masters of antiquity built entire civilizations around learning to use it. And the modern world told you it was just sleep. 96% of the inhabitants of this planet have no knowledge of what is actually available to them in the dream state. No knowledge of the gateways that open. No knowledge of the beings that can be encountered. The information that can be retrieved. The lifespan-altering events that are accessible to those trained to arrive through them consciously and deliberately. In this seminar, we will give you the keys. We will show you the technologies, the real ones, the ancient ones, the ones that work for harnessing the full intelligence of the dream state and wielding it in service of your waking life, your longevity, your consciousness, and your destiny.
Death, money, dreams, the three pillars, the three doors, the three zones of suppressed mastery that the world's most advanced consciousness workers have quietly used to live extraordinary lives, while the rest of the planet wondered why nothing was changing. The vault is open. Walk through it.
Wow. Wow. That was mind-blowing, my brother. That's another level right there. Wait for the audience to... Yeah, that was mind-blowing, man. That was well put together. Yeah, it's definitely another level to this, man. It's definitely... I want to come to one of your... I don't know what to call them, gatherings. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, seminar.
Seminars.
Seminar weekend.
Yeah, that's
Seminar
dope.
weekend.
That's dope.
Absolutely.
If you're in the New York area, man, even if you're here, just go down there. They take a photo he showed you to what's this called again, AD?
The QR code.
Yeah, QR code. Yeah, man, you got me going right now. Yeah, but I got to go check that out. Check that out. AD, I was gonna text you this to pull up. And then we have another one, right?
Yes,
Tree.
that's for the Crescendo Awakening, and that's only a minute and 25 seconds.
Okay.
That's the invitation of what we're doing this Sunday and the following
dope.
Sunday.
That's dope, man. That's dope. So many subjects you touch on. Not a lot of people are touching on that. I don't think I've heard anyone touch on that. Period. So you're getting something different.
Yes.
You're putting out something different. Is it the time we in now? Because this is like high spiritual science now. Why is the veil opening now?
It is.
Yeah.
Well, what's happening is we are in the times of Ragnarok. We are in the end times. And this has been a fear of a lot of our ancestors for hundreds of years, because in the year 999, the people who were alive thought that when the year 1000 came along, the world was going to come to an end. In the year, I remember in 2012 and 2000, the year 2000, people thought that, the end was coming. But there are more things that prove that we are in the end times now than ever before. And a lot of it is, if you look at what's happening in America under Donald Trump and what he's doing, and it's not really Donald Trump, because respectfully, I don't believe that he is intelligent and cunning enough to do some of the things that he is impugned to do. There's no way that he's not being told what to do by what I believe are the elites, or the cabal, if you will. And he's just following a playbook. So I feel like the Ragnarokian times that we are in is really, there are several things going on simultaneously. One of them is there is a fight for your spiritual sovereignty. There is a fight for your attention. There are technological gods that are stealing secular worship from you by making you chase the proverbial like, and the internet or the World Wide Web is also someone that is vacuuming the souls of people daily. If you look at how much time people spend on the black box known as the smartphone or their tablet or computer, just perusing through and seeking to get some of that energy back that they have given in, it's really analogous to when you go to Las Vegas or you go to a casino, the house always wins. So there are some people that are smart enough to subvert the mission of what it is to steal their energy, and they just deactivate their profiles and they take a fast from it, and they do their best. They do the best that they can to get rid of the influence of what that has on their lives. And I applaud that. They're trying to get back to some sense of balanced scale so that that is not robbing them too much of their time. You know what I mean? So I definitely feel the people who are locked into living a large part of their lives through the virtual reality of, you know, what these smartphones have. But right now, again, people have an opportunity to advance their spirituality and also transform their character, their spiritual bandwidth, and become the spiritual mutants that the demigods of the Bible unplug you from evolving into. That was a crime against your humanity, the same way that some people may think it's a crime for you to kill a chicken and eat it. You know, we're part of a food chain that we have the autonomy and the right to take ourselves off of, but you're being distracted from that particular imperative by the distractions that are so prevalent, you know?
Wow. Yeah. Man. Yeah, you should drop the mic on that. It's like I'm lost for words. I'm just in awe, man. It's these
Wow.
do you say that we are the demigods, or how we can become the demigods, or these influencers that are like our higher self or just higher beings? Are we connected to them? I'm trying to ask this question right. Like, what, you know? I'm trying to learn more about this. These demigods, or are we the demigods? Connections.
Well, if you look at a demigod, they have more power in their consciousness than we will ever have with our telomeres being deactivated. Demigods are very close to jinn. If you look at a jinn, there was a very good movie that Idris Elba played a jinn that was locked up in a genie bottle for what, 3,000, 5,000 years. Really, really good film. And that would give you an estimate as to the power of a demigod. Demigods live a very long time, and as a result, you know, if someone is living 100 years, 500 years, 1,000 years, there's going to be a sense of commonality that they have, that this allows them to basically be on a particular food chain. So a lot of times when you look at a movie like that, I forget the name, if anybody knows the name of the movie that Idris Elba was in, that he played a jinn, that's a really, really good education. So the demigods are higher beings than humans. Humans are very, very low on the scale of gross matter. Even if we live for 150 years, a lot of times we're really, really decrepit, and we don't have the ability to do a high kick or, you know, be like some of the Fu Manchus that we see in, you know, the martial arts movies. That's how it should be. And someone should be able to have memory of their last lifetimes, at least going back maybe 20 or 30 lifetimes. So if you look at Tahuti when he came to this planet, or when he was on this planet, when he consulted the other gods, he basically was the example of bringing mathematics, astrology, writing, all of the things that would help us accelerate our bandwidth. And he always had the quill because he was always documenting and writing, and he was showing the power of what comes with basically recording things. Speaking of that, I am in the middle of solidifying and choosing images that are going to go into the Galacticus books. And that's a whole nother thing. But I'm very excited for our books to come out because they're going to be very similar to the seminars, but there's not going to be anything like it in existence. And it's important for people to have that particular radiation because it changes the construct of your psyche, but it also prepares your consciousness to take a major quantum leap so that you can possibly be a higher being. The creator of all doesn't create anything without the desire for it to realize its full potential. So I would say to anyone who's watching this and who will be watching this, there's not a lot of things that are here to help you do that, which is the reason why Galacticus exists. Everything about our existence is to give you the answers to the problems and challenges that you face as an earthling human so that you can arrest those things and basically have a much better degree of success and make your divine parents proud of you on this planet. So, and that radiation also creates a lot of open doors for you if you're willing to take the journey, but you have to reach a little bit past your level of comfort if you're going to achieve that as well.
Man, that's crazy. Quick question, because I know we've been up here for a little while. You've been dropping it. We're gonna play the other one. What do you think that AI plays a part in all of this with this new creation of people and AI intelligence? Is that going against the grain or is it helping the grain?
Well, if you look at, and that's a brilliant question, Killah Priest. I would say that the advent of the large language model that AI represents is fully on par with what happens when a planet gets to a certain stage in its existence. Planetarily, and this isn't just here on Earth, it's all planets that have sentient life forms. They eventually will discover the atom. And then they will discover how to split the atom. And if you split the atom to the right, I believe it's nuclear fusion. Don't quote me on this, but if you split it to the left, it might be nuclear fission, which would be responsible for destroying the planet. Lots of planets every day. There is a threshold that is reached. It's called the atomic age, where they tinker with the atom and they tinker their way out of existence. We have been on the precipice of doing that a couple of times on this planet. One of the times was in 1947, I believe, when we dropped the bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. We almost cracked the Earth. We were very, very close to being in non-existence. Another thing that planets will also catch up with is AI, artificial intelligence. But here is the stymie. AI is also supposed to be compatible and balanced with your own spiritual abilities, the ability to be able to heal, the ability to project your consciousness, the ability to control the elements. It's a very, very long list of things that humanity is not doing by and large, but yet we've accepted the advent of AI, which makes us severely imbalanced. So to answer your question, if people do not have a fortified spirituality that they can do certain things like read minds, feel things that are going on in another part of the world, they can create matter from the inner realms of nothingness. They can communicate and be symbiotic with the invisible ranges of existence that are unseeable by humans. They can hear things that are not on the audionic scale of being able to hear. Lots of things that we cannot do. the very highest threshold that we have is ESP, and some of the other higher minute senses that only specialized people have that are seen as extraordinary people, whether you want to call them witches, warlocks, wizards, or people who are psychic. We all have those abilities, but unfortunately, because of so many of the attacks that are happening, they remain dormant within us. So spiritually, we are supposed to be on par with what AI affords us in terms of being able to, have a few keystrokes and find out things. We are also supposed to be able to do things spiritually. We are far behind the schedule of a desired reality that was basically for us. So right now, if we don't start developing our spiritual bandwidth, we eventually will succumb to the decision that AI will eventually make, is we are roaches and they need to cancel us out of existence. That day will happen if people don't wake up spiritually.
Well, real quick, Shri Master, let me ask you this. How do you see the spiritual connection? What's the deja vu? What is that?
Deja vu is one of your senses that allows you to see the timetable of something that was either already in a spiritual contract, or it is your consciousness catching up with a book that has already been written. When you can forecast something, you can say, wait a minute, this feels familiar. I know what's going to happen next. You have caught up to something that has already happened. Now, Dr. York used to say something similar to, there is too much time in the universe for this moment not to have already happened many times. I do believe that. And if you look at deja vu, it's you, again, simply catching up to something that was already written. An example of that is, if I hold this flyer up, there's data on this flyer that was written months ago, but a lot of you were just seeing it for the first time. So when you're seeing it, or before you're seeing it, if you could sense what's on this, that is what deja vu represents. And again, we all have different fleeting flashes of what deja vu is like. And, I love when deja vu happens, or Vuja Day, as I call it. And there are many other little micro things like that that give you a spark, an acknowledgement that there's a lot more to this existence that meets the eye that you were taught about, and what is written in your leading authorities of religiosity or religion, that being the Bible or the Quran, which basically leads to charge. There's not a lot of spirituality in those books.
Man, that was correct. Should we play the other one, mini part, or because I'm about to let you go?
Sure.
All right. Okay, let's play that one.
Okay.
You talking about the
Absolutely.
the song?
The other one, not the song yet. I'm gonna play that. Got a gift for you, man. Yeah, I can't wait to play
It's
that.
about, oh yeah, you're right. It's about 1 minute and 27 seconds, that advert.
I only got one thing.
It's the other one out.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry about that. Yeah. Well,
okay. All
that,
right.
that
That's
also
cool.
is, if you guys go to the Galacticus Instagram page or YouTube or Facebook, the video is there. And it really is just a condensed it's a condensed invitation to come to what we're going to be doing on Sunday, this Sunday and the next Sunday, called the Crescendo Awakening series.
Word, no doubt. Shout out Timbo. Shout out to Timbo King, man. He said, listening to you, you could take a flight to Japan and listen to you for 18 hours
Timbo
straight.
King.
No doubt.
Wow.
Shout out to
How
Timbo,
you doing,
man.
Timbo? It's been a long time since I've seen Timbo.
Yeah. Indeed. Yeah, he good. Word. He good. He just texted me. Yeah. Man, that's incredible, bro.
Okay, right on. Oh man, I've seen Timbo since '96, I think. It's been a long time. Since Soul in the Hole. That was the last time I believe I saw Timbo.
Yeah.
Remember that? Soul in the Hole?
Soul in the Hole, yep. To keep the killer sin. I was Killer
what,
Sin, by the way. He should be
30
coming.
years.
Yeah, like 30 years, Timbo. He chilling, man.
Yeah,
Timbo's
I spoke to Killer Sin. Yeah, shout out to Killer Sin, man. And I spoke to him, and my heart goes out to him. And he's a strong individual, man. He's really holding fast,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no doubt, man. Because everybody want to shout out. Okay, so here it is, man. This is my present to you. Stop. I'll tell you where to stop it at, AD.
Oh, man.
So yeah, this is off. Swift
Okay.
is like 2, and we're gonna play a little bit for you, my brother, and let you know you always on my mind. You know what I'm saying? So it's always great.
Wow.
This is what
That's beautiful, Killah Priest. Thank you, King.
Swift is like different light.
Fish don't need proof of water. They know the truth is order. I know they're lying about the flying saucers and Zion daughters. And you're the Judah lion and Torah. From Musa, the rulers of the future, writing the laws for the next civilization in English text. This time, not Medunetta, Habakkuk, Nebuchadnezzar, leaving letters from the Heka, the Nebula, and forever. Solomon said knowledge is better than stored treasure. Sit for bars like a barber chair. The bars will move like shears across the hairs of the universal spheres. At most, I rap close to an unknown haplo. Half lamb, half goat from the island of Patmos. In shackles, writing revelations of Babel to black folks that's in the meditation of channel. Shout out to Gano. Real Sikhs know how to peek into your soul like Killah Priest, the Iron Sheik. I cooked all the Greek gods.
That's
I brought
it.
them
You
in
cut
Greece.
it. That's it, man.
Oh, man. Thank you, Killah Priest.
No doubt, man. No doubt. I had
Oh,
to
man.
get that. That's my. Yeah.
One thing about you, Killah Priest, that always inspired me about you is you're such a lyrical technician. You can fool somebody into thinking that they can be on par with you lyrically because you rap and you flow so effortlessly. It's like the word, like, the way you make things go together in certain things. Literally, somebody might be inspired to put pen to paper and try to do that, only to realize that they're listening to a master at work. And, it's nowhere near as easy as it seems. Has anybody ever told you that before?
I've heard it peeking through. Not put like that though. I heard little thing. Yeah, I heard things.
I'm gonna ring your bell. I gotta ring your bell one more time. I hope you can handle it.
Yeah.
I was at Midland Beach one day and I was going through YouTube, and you were like way ahead of AI. And it was a cartoon, and it was a long form cartoon, and it was like the way you rap, except you were narrating something. I wish I had it, but it's like you were talking about, it was a journey, and so many things were happening. And I literally took out my pen and paper and started writing. And I'm like, what am I doing? I was underneath the influence of what I just saw that came from you and your voice and the way that you were just, now I'm going to find it. You might know what it is I'm talking about. This is about 2 years ago. But I caught myself and I snapped out of it. And I'm like, brother, you are not an MC anymore. But this is Killah Priest again, pulling you in and just making you think that, I'm sure I could still do it.
Yeah.
And it's been a long time. And, I remember when we were in Greece not that long ago, I was helping Capadonna like finish up. Because, me and him had a couple of songs together way back. And, he's like, oh, Gano, what goes with this? What goes with that? So, yeah, you should say this. And that was the closest that I've come to writing something lyrically. But when I heard that from you at a beach, it just really pulled me in. Man. But, that's a God-given talent that you have, Killah Priest.
Thank
you.
Man, we got to do something together, man. We got to definitely do something together. That would be crazy.
We do.
Man. You mentioned the name.
We do.
That
would be an honor.
All right, we're gonna get it. We're gonna get that done.
Yeah, we got to make something happen.
You mentioned a name that I know. Just real quick before I let you go. Lord K1, man, you killed it with that. Lord K1, he was in Man, the original Forces. I used to like, yo, that name is hard. Lord K1. Dang, so you knew, y'all grew up together, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. He passed away.
Let me tell you, the Lord K1 was my big brother, and he used to hang out with a guy named S. Both of them are deceased now. And you know, they actually, he did a song called Mr. Fantastic, right? And the lyrics went something like this. He said, she grabbed my pants and she pulled down my pants and stretched out the elastic, looked inside and said, "Oh, he's just fantastic." I just said, you know, I still remember that because he was so funny and witty with his lyrics. And some people are probably going to take that and, you know, go ahead. Yeah. But Lord K1 was also a very unique force on this planet. And, you know, he was part of the original Force MCs, man. And there's only one surviving member left, and that's Stevie D. And also,
I just seen him.
Shout out to Khalil, who also was part of the original Force MCs. So we're looking to, I was speaking to Big Daddy Kane not that long ago, and I was telling him I have aspirations of executive producing the Force MCs movie. And they have a hell of a story, you know. So we're in the stages of just the building blocks, and it's on the assembly line. So when it comes out, it's going to be great.
Yeah, man. I heard some story. I heard a story that they ran into. I don't want to say, but I heard they ran into New Edition, man. I heard about that, and they had the battle, right? Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy.
They were on tour. They were on tour with New Edition, and there's a lot of stories with them.
Wow.
And you know, their paths intertwined. And I would like to say, I think that the Force MCs, they sparked New Edition early on.
Really?
You know what I mean? So they definitely were inspired by them, and they just kept going. You know?
Yep. Because they were both, I mean, you know, New Edition, man. Force MCs were rappers and that turned to singers, right? Or vice versa. I know Cold Crush Brother, remember that?
Yeah, Force MD, they turned into the Force MDs. Shout out to Mr. Magic Fly Tie and, you know, the early Tommy Boy. But they, you know, they just kept reinventing themselves.
Yeah.
But they kept the original DNA of what they used to do when they were battling the Cold Crush and
Cold Crush probably happy that they turned to singers.
That's a very, very illustrious story.
Right. No doubt, man.
They always sang, though. They always sang it. They didn't turn into singers. They always sang.
They always sang.
And some of them rapped, some of them didn't. You know what I mean? But when they joined forces and came together, they just did everything that they could do. But really, they were really all consummate entertainers. They pulled on a full show, imitations and everything, you know? So they have a great story that I think is going to be a universal theme that it's a coming of age story. And I think that it's going to inspire everybody, you know?
Right. Speaking of inspiration, I know you're going to go see, I already got my ticket, man. The movie Michael.
Yes.
Michael Jackson. Yeah, man. I got my ticket, man.
Absolutely.
Make sure y'all go see that, man. That's going to be, man. I'm going to probably have to bring some tissue, man. Yo,
I hope they get it right. You know, I've heard mixed reviews, but nothing is like your review. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to anybody who might have been skewed by Janet Jackson, it's like, make sure that you support the movie, support Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
And I'm going to just real quick, one last thing, may I, Killah Priest?
Yeah.
When Michael Jackson died, Spike Lee, it landed on the same date. I think it was Spike Lee was celebrating, 20 years of Do the Right Thing. And that night we got the word that Michael Jackson had passed. And Q-Tip, we were all together. Danny Aiello was still alive.
Right.
Ruby D was still alive. And after the screening for the 20th anniversary of Do the Right Thing, we all walked across the street to this club, and Q-Tip was the DJ. Rosie Perez was there. Martin Lawrence was not there, fortunately, but a lot of people, Samuel Jackson, it was a beautiful night. And Q-Tip as the DJ, Killah Priest, he only played Michael Jackson songs that whole night. And I went with Jeffrey Wright. We went out together, and I'm going to tell you something. I wasn't really confident of my dancing ability, but everybody was on the dance floor. And it was like Michael Jackson's essence had come out and pulled everybody's insecurities yanked it down like a skirt. And everybody was just there. And it was like his spirit was in the air. And we were all just looking at each other and dancing, and nobody was just, it was really ominous. I've never experienced anything like that before or after. But that was Michael Jackson, and everything that Michael Jackson was really about was in the atoms of the air and the oxygen that night as we just danced the night away, man. And it was a beautiful thing. And I don't believe Michael is guilty of any of those accusations.
That's right.
I think he was too smart to step in that.
That's right.
And he really was besmirched. So I hope that, his mind is restored and his name is restored. And, he was a unique force on this planet. He really was.
He was the force. No doubt, man. I can't wait to see that, man. Can't wait. Yeah, that's crazy, man. He had it.
Absolutely.
I saw something on YouTube real quick. It was a rare interview that Mike did, and he was talking about his performance at Motown 25. Never seen this interview before. And he was saying that he knew he didn't even want to do it, first of all. He didn't want to do it, and it was Quincy that talked him into it. Hopefully they show that part. But this is just an interview. So he was like, when he looked up, he saw everybody standing up. And because, they had to tape it. He wanted it was taped. So he was just like, he saw the audience standing up, and he still was mad because he said he wasn't on his toes long enough. He said he wanted to hit or stand on his toes, and when he hit that, he said, well, you can say it now, he didn't pause long enough. He wanted to stay there for a minute. So what I was thinking, he was really ready to take the game completely over. And he said he didn't tell his brothers about the moonwalk. He didn't tell no one. He said he waited for that part. He said it was a break part. So it was he knew that he would destroy everybody right there. He said that he waited, and his brothers were like, yo, what you been working on? He said, nah, just wait. And he hit the moonwalk on him, and he waited for that break. And he said when he hit the toe, his plan was to stay there. So I was, oh my God, that's been crazy. And that right there,
wow,
said, yeah, wow, man, that right there let me know that he embodied the streets. He was hip. The streets mixed with pop. He just had it all, man. He had it all. Yeah, so now we get the relay. Hopefully, like you said, they get it right, man. Word. Can't wait.
Yeah, yeah. He I also remember when he was doing. I don't remember when he was there, but I remember hearing when they did the Wiz and it flopped in 1978. And he came down with meningitis. He couldn't tour. He was living with his sister in Midtown, LaToya Jackson, and he was depressed, man. And he kept talking about how he needed to get away from his brothers. So he's talking to Quincy Jones about what he really wanted to do.
Right.
And Quincy Jones, he's like, I'm looking for a producer. I need this. And Quincy was like, duh. Hello, you should let me do it. And Michael was like, You produce? Yeah, man, let me produce that bad boy. And Quincy Jones went on to get Rod Temperton, another musical juggernaut in the class of a Charles Stepney, And what Michael did, again, talk about timing, like, the computations I was saying before, it'll never be done again, man. So Killah Priest, we're really lucky to have lived during the time of Michael Jackson to see what's possible. And lastly, I'll say this. If you look at the heights that Michael Jackson reached in his heyday, that is synonymous with demigod status, where you could go anywhere in the world and make people have an emotional fallout. You know what it's like to be verklempt and to want to pass out because you have so much love jumping out of your heart chakra and directed at somebody? That doesn't happen. Men and women. Straight and gay people, like, or binary or whatever you want to call yourself. Imagine seeing a being that you love so much that you pass out. That's crazy. Michael Jackson had that, Shout out to
really?
Michael Jackson.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. We're gonna make sure it's right.
Similar to, you see some of the girls in the audience of like the Beatles,
Yeah,
and that same type of reaction where they would faint.
yeah. But Mike went.
Yeah.
He was not. Yeah.
But yeah, it happened to the extreme for Mike and everything for sure, and it was worldwide. He was,
And I'm one of those people. I'm gonna be fighting. My bad. Cut your wisdom.
so that's it.
Yeah. And I'm gonna be fighting if it ain't
Yeah,
right.
man.
I'm gonna be
Yeah.
outside.
Yeah,
I'm that type of fan of Mike, man.
you have to
They
understand.
better get it right.
Wow.
He had gotten so powerful that he was literally one of the most powerful men in the world, if not the most, for a moment, because he had more power than the president.
Yeah.
As far as influence,
That's right.
Right.
which is what made him
right.
dangerous.
Yeah.
And he had a whole album called
Yeah.
Dangerous.
There you go. I thought you had him.
Well, he knew.
Yeah.
Listen, man, Michael Jackson.
He said, you know it. They
Michael
know
Jackson knew. He knew the moment that his death warrant was signed, man. When he did that press junket in London, and he wanted to get some things off his chest, and he literally said, he said, "Oh man, I don't want to say this," and they gassed him up, and he came out with it. And how many of you remember he said, "Well, this is probably going to get me killed," but he said it.
it. Yeah.
And the tides had turned, and I think he put the target on his back. But everybody gets to a point where whether you're Malcolm X, Prince, Martin Luther King, Medgar Evers, there were a lot of people that knew that they were going to die. But it's like, hey, this is what it is, man. What I'm doing is far supersedent of the fear that I should have of death.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's where Michael Jackson was at. He knew he was a dead man walking.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said so. He told people that they're coming after him.
Yeah. He reached that Buddha status. Because if you look at even Neverland with the animals around, you think of Siddhartha.
Yes.
Yeah, right? On that, he was on that level. Like,
Right.
he had animals around him. He had a place you can go and just, Neverland that's heavy, man. I've never been there, but you know what I'm saying? It's like,
Right.
yeah, I would have loved to go there.
I believe you, Killah Priest.
Yeah.
I do believe that, man. Yeah, sure did.
Yeah,
Sure
that level,
did,
man. He was like you said, demigod. Man, we go for hours with this, man.
We could do a whole episode on Michael Jackson
Yeah,
alone.
we when the movie come out,
Man, absolutely.
when the movie
Just
come
watch
back,
the
we'll
movie.
bring Street
Yeah,
Master
we're gonna have to
Gano.
have another conversation and compare notes. 'Cause I like to take notes when I'm watching movies and then just commit it to memory.
Yeah,
But
don't
that's
make me
gonna be
flip
one
out.
for the books. I hope.
Yeah, I got that's his nephew, right? That's playing him, Jafar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that is Jermaine.
that's
It's
spiritual.
circle, right?
Yeah, that's
Because
spiritual.
Jermaine is the father of Jafar.
Yeah.
And Jermaine was the one that basically put Michael Jackson in the group.
Yo,
A lot of people don't know that.
yo,
Jermaine was like,
dog.
he was his
Talk,
nephew,
talk. That's deep, yo. That's even deep.
Yeah.
That's deep. I thought about that. I was
he's
like,
my little brother, and it's like,
who gets to do that? No, who plays
I think-
their
I think-
family member playing you in a big movie? It's like, come on, man. This is crazy.
yeah. I think that's like a full circle inflection point. That's not a 180. That's a 360.
Yeah.
And a lot of the entitlement that Jermaine has, he's entitled to feel that way. He's entitled to feel that way because he's like, I was the one that said that my little brother, that's my little brother. I said he could be in a group, and he basically outshined me.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And when they left Motown, he stayed because he was with Barry Gordy. Shout out to Barry Gordy, by the way, who just transitioned.
When?
I heard it was today. Not unless, can you
Don't
fact
say
check
that.
that, AD?
What?
Yeah, I hope I'm not wrong about that. Because
Say the name again.
Barry
you gotta
Gordy.
fact check things. I just saw that a couple of hours ago.
What? Oh, man, I'm about to throw this mic, man. We're going to sit out here. This is going to be the after hours.
Not this mic.
Can you fact check that?
Yeah, I'm checking
Is that
right
right,
now.
exact, y'all, or was I bamboozled?
Don't say that right before his movie come out.
According to Google, he's still alive.
Okay.
But maybe you have fresh.
see?
Maybe you have news that's so fresh it's not even popping up yet. I don't see any news of his
What?
passing or anything. I'm checking news
Let
directly.
me say this in regard to that. Let
That's
me say this. I have to
crazy,
say this
man.
as,
Oh, man. Go ahead.
Still
I
alive
have
according
to
to
say
Google.
this as a disclaimer. I have to say this as a disclaimer. I remember when Phife Dawg had died.
Mm-hmm.
And I was on the wrong timeline, literally. And I put, Five Dog, my man, shout out to, there was a picture of myself, LL Cool J, and Five Dog, and I posted it. I got a very angry response from Five Dog, like, yo, man, I'm still alive. And I was like, oh no, it happened again. And this is, and 2 weeks later, he was dead.
Wow.
It's not the first time that's happened to me. So whether it's something that what I'm looking at now is there were some very mean-spirited people who, and all of you guys, I'm sure, have seen it, where they say, this one rest in peace, this one died, that one died. It's gotten to the point, Killah Priest and AD, now where you have to fact check something before you even say it. So shame on me for not fact checking that. But also sometimes my consciousness is on different timelines, and it can be embarrassing, some of the things that you bring back, that sometimes our timeline catches up to it, or sometimes it doesn't catch up at all. Which is the reason why I depend on my students to tell me things that they are experiencing on this timeline through their recordings, because it helps me to stay somewhat centered, So yeah, forgive me for that, guys.
That's very bold and honorable of you, brother.
We got a super chat from the Great Dame. He says, yo, Gano, Peace King, I last seen you walking through the town. You looking strong, bruh. Stay up. Respect.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for that, King. It's good to see you. And I see that up there. Thank you for the acknowledgement, man. I appreciate that.
Well, Podcraft, man. Oh man, I hate to do this. I hate this part, man. Man, that was great. Gano, Street Master Gano, tell the audience once again how they can get in touch with you, how they can get to the for one last time, how they can get to the seminar, and just get in touch with your books. Have you written any books? Got any books out?
Yes, I am probably going to release half of a library. I have. At first, I started off with 3 books at the same time. I was writing simultaneously right before COVID, and for the past 6 months, all I've been doing is spending hours a day completing the book. So yes, I have. I don't want to say the number, but it's more than 5 books, and I have to figure out if I'm going to allow some of them to be published through a publishing house, and some of them I might just keep on Galacticus. So to answer your question, yes, you can reach out to Galacticus. And by the way, Killah Priest, if it's okay with you, can I send you a description? I would ask for you to share that in your description about. Okay, so
please.
I'll send that to you, and you could drop it in. I really appreciate that.
Do that.
That'll have all of my information. But for those of you who are in the tri-state area of New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and Long Island, which is Connecticut, you can come to, have a taste of Galacticus completely for free for this Sunday and the next Sunday at the Learning Library Center located at LIU, is in Brooklyn, One University Plaza. And that is called the Crescendo Awakening Series. We start at 12 noon sharp, and we go until 4 p.m. Short and sweet. We have some wonderful services that we're offering completely for free. And that is on the 19th, this Sunday, and April 26th, which will be the last of the series. And then we'll be back May 15th, 16th, and 17th for our seminar weekend. And there was a long form description of those seminars, like Death, Money, and Dream, Words of Power, Ultranahata 1, 2, and 3, the God Seminar, and the Order of Hypernatural Magic. I would advocate that you read long form descriptions either on galacticus.com or Eventbrite. And the Galacticus is spelled GALIGHTICUS.com. And follow us across the media platforms. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have over 300 videos on everything and anything pertaining to spirituality. We have a TikTok page. We're on Instagram and our official Facebook group. And there are varying degrees of information spiritually on each one, things that will help your life to grow and your consciousness to expand, and for you to overturn your challenges. And I'm looking forward to meeting you guys either Sunday, the next Sunday, or in April.
No doubt.
Nice.
That's great. That's great, man. All right. Well, man. Brother, that was incredible. I'm going to hit you up later. We're going to have everything in the description. And thank you for sharing so much wisdom and dropping it, man. This Aries, what is it called? Aries? I'm looking into that, man. The Aries.
Direct.
Yeah, Aries. Yeah. Planet Direct. Yeah, okay. That was heavy. That was a bomb.
Mm-hmm.
On top of everything else you said, man.
Yeah.
And that song will be out soon, man.
Yes,
don't worry about it. I'll send you a copy of it.
Thank you for that, Killah Priest. That's a real honor, man.
Yeah, man.
Very grateful for that.
All right, Podcraft.
Yes,
Hey, Master Gano, what sign are you?
I'm on the cusp of Libra, Scorpio.
Oh,
I am
wow.
a very highly evolved Libra.
Nice.
My sister.
Very cool.
Yes, sir.
Very,
What about yourself?
very balanced. That's good.
He asked about you.
I'm a Pisces,
Yes, sir.
but I'm a Pisces with my rising in Libra. So I'm kind of obsessed
All right,
with
so we
balance.
kinfolk.
Yeah. I got the moon in Leo, so I kind of
Absolutely.
relate to Priest also.
Okay. All right. Right on. What about you, Killah Priest, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, Master Killah, and Jizza, same sign. It's crazy. Came into the same line.
All right.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. You know
Look
that
at
sign,
that.
so that's me.
That's
Yeah.
why you guys.
Yeah.
That's the Trimurti right there. I like that.
Yeah. My rising is
right.
Aquarius, though. My rising is
Oh,
Aquarius.
your moon sign's Aquarius.
Oh, my moon.
Yeah.
That's right.
I don't know I forgot what your rising was.
I got beat.
But yeah.
I done got beat down back in the days. My rising is no Aquarius.
You didn't know that, right? What's the rising, God? What's today's mathematics?
He's got to get his top three.
Aquarius.
Yeah, Priest has that
Yeah. Today's chart.
that opposition happening, which can be a gift. You know what I mean? So,
Aquarius.
Sun in Leo, Moon in Aquarius.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So he's able
Wow.
to express all of that depth.
I was in the house before I came in. I was in my first house.
Expeditiously with his lyrics, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
It's really clear.
It's beautiful, man.
Yes, sir.
Nice.
No doubt.
All right, fellas. Well,
all right.
Priest, AD, thank you so much for having me on your platform. It's always a pleasure to build with you guys. And, you know, we'll talk again off the air.
Yeah.
And, you know, you guys have a great evening.
Yeah.
You too.
All right.
The Council of Light, man. Shout out to Gods and Goddesses, Council of Light. That was the Sri Master Gano. And he's leaving the craft, man. He's leaving the craft. No doubt. Somebody said they're Virgo rising. Shut up. It's a car. Man, that was what you think, man.
Nice.
That was nice, man.
Excellent guess.
Told you, man. Turning up. Yeah, turning up. Man. Yeah, a lot of things, man. We still got work to do. But that's a real Sri Master right there. So I had to throw him in because I don't know when the enlightenment, was there. You never know. You just never know, man. Listen, we all should learn from that. Mistakes and things that you don't believe in, or things that let me put this right. Things that you might take a turn in life. And then like he said, it'll work out for you the way it's supposed to. Shout out to my brother, the God, Hakim. He would tell me that certain things happen, like in my journey. You know what I'm saying? It's similar. We all got this similar thing. I fell asleep. We was all in the studio, man. I fell asleep. Shout out to the God Master Killah, man. Shout out to him. Definitely, word. Always. Shout out to Rim, because they was just together. And I heard he gave props to NASA Case, man. Shout out to him. I'm saying it right, NASA Case.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all the gods. It's been a journey, and it don't stop. And Gano is definitely he's a passenger on that ship. It's sailing, smooth sailing, no doubt. Yeah, that's what we got. So that's what it is. That's what it was. That's what it will be. And As is, was, and shall be.
Word.
Yeah, somebody called my phone one time and said that. Hung up. I was like, damn, that's deep. That's what it, behold. You know what I'm saying? You ever get a call like that?
Yeah.
Behold, the first is the second, but the third have never came yet. Man, we at the shows, man. We had a lot of it, man. All right, let's move on.
You got another announcement coming up, though, right? You got something else coming in the merch.
Oh, yeah, man. How did I forget that? I'm trying to get out of here too quick, man. Let me slow down. So, yo, get ready to light up the chat room. I'm talking about nothing but flames and fires to celebrate. We got in contact. YouTube got in contact with us. We are getting the plaque. It is.
Oh, yeah.
So the plaque is coming. Congratulating us from, and how did that voice sound? I didn't get to speak to the person. I am Mr. YouTube.
Well, it was an email, so we didn't really.
Right. YouTube. I am YouTube. Where is YouTube? Is it a real person? Is it a bunch of people?
Yeah.
Mr. YouTube. David YouTube.
It's going to be sitting right behind you.
Yeah.
We're going to set it up. Even though there's a green
Phil
screen
Achievement.
there,
That's an award. Yeah, go ahead.
it'll be right behind you.
Yeah, that's where you want to sit? Okay.
Yeah, to your
You sit above you, too?
to your
Right
left.
in the middle. Where's the other plaque? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just Bible basic instruction before leaving Earth. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. As my old Earth had it. She gave it. I used to give my old Earth all of that. My old Earth. My old Earth is my ancestor. My mom used to give anything I had. She got it. Or because she a Leo too, and there's no. I miss that, man. She's my number one fan, and I'm her number one. She's always, like that sort of stuff. So I will always give it to her. Well,
That's what's up.
yep. All right, so
You ready for the next announcement?
yeah, what was the first? I'm tripping. Oh yeah. So available right now is Swift as Light. Here's the next announcement. So if you want Swift as Light, it will be available in CD coming soon. And it's available on YouTube only, strictly. And Swift as Light 2 is on its way.
In production. Or in print.
It was in print, yeah, exactly. So print is closer to being done than production, right? Yeah. I don't have to record.
Yeah.
That's what that means. Everything else is paperwork.
Is it like a volume 1, volume 2 type deal?
Yeah, it'll be volume 2. Volume 2 is coming. So shout out to everybody who supported and Swift is Light. There it is. That's the album cover.
And the pre-orders are available on Tuesday.
Yeah, the pre-orders will be available. Yeah, you can just grab them up or whatever. And shout out to everybody that's out there. Yeah, we said, well, Swift as Light get vinyl. Yeah, we're gonna do vinyl. We're just gonna do vinyl for it too. Oh, yeah, make a vinyl thing for it too. Shout out to
As of right
my
now.
peoples in London. Right?
It's official now.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yep, Neru's on it. Yep. If you heard Tahu Vabahu, Formless. So you can look up. Sometimes I'll do titles so you can look up the word, You can look it up and then you'll have it. So that's the announcement right there, right?
Yep.
Yep, we did it right.
If you want to check out the whole album online, when you look up Swift as Light, Killah Priest,
Swift as Light.
You will see
Took off.
a playlist. And the playlist has the right order up there.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to
Yeah.
see that.
The sequence. So, tell a friend, type in Swift as Light, daggone laws. So that's my gift to humanity, some hip hop fans. They get a free album. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Except the ones you got. Well, if I was y'all, if I get that, to get the CD. And y'all can donate too. What's the best nation?
Donation.
Hey, that's what it is. That's what it was. That's what it shall be. Word. Thank y'all. AD did the cover. Fire right there.
Inspired by Priest.
No
I just
doubt.
followed Priest's direction on that.
Yeah.
The back cover is looking
Yeah,
cool
picture.
too.
Yeah. It's a nice little picture. We said, yeah. Show on the back? Yeah, no.
Not yet.
Yeah, it's not ready yet.
Yeah.
Not ready. Don't worry about it.
But no show this Sunday.
No show this Sunday.
But we'll be back next Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I heard it from here first. No show this Sunday. We'll be back next Thursday. All right.
Yeah.
So that concludes that now to the music set. What I call it?
Song promotion.
Yeah, bugging, man. All right. So let's go to song promotion. Let's get into
Let's
it.
go.
Swift is Light. Everybody put Swift is Light on to your Instagram. Put that and put Nassau Case because Nassau Case is moving. Shout out to J. Cole once again, man, for that lookout. So I'm very grateful and honored for that. You know, word.
Let's go.
Been in this game for years.
All right, here we go.
It's true.
Song promotions. You send in your music, we play it live on the show for Killah Priest and the world to hear.
Yeah. All right, let's go. We just upgraded our song promotion segment. Today we got a submission already set up right now.
Okay. Yeah, if y'all check out the new setup, come ride with us. Let's go. Somebody said 186.
kppodcraft.com is where it's at.
Yeah. We'll put it in the message.
Yeah, it's in the description.
I mean, we got that today.
So far we've got the Otter Realms
Okay.
submission right now. So here we go.
No, it's called UAPs now. The UFOs, they changed the name for a reason. We got to figure that out. It's called UAPs now.
Yeah.
And UAP stand for what? Unidentified phenomenal.
Aerial phenomena.
Yeah, aerial phenomenal. So, you know, we go back and forth, but they be always switching up stuff. By the time you get the move, they switch the dance. They switch the song. So they switch up everything.
Yeah.
Word. We just
All right.
speaking English. Go ahead. Otter's an orbit. Yeah, I like Otter, man.
Yeah.
Word. That's word to fish and a rocket.
Here we go. Okay, hold on a second. Hold on. Got muted on here.
This is a
All aboard the spaceship to Planet Funk.
Rocket out to. Hey.
Planet Funk.
Hey. Back in the
A
days.
new realm of funk.
That's funky. Get it down.
Planet Funk.
Hey, AD. I met this bad sister earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was super fly, man. She was bad. You should have saw her, man. When I first looked into her eyes, I said, "Damn,
How bad?
it was sexy." She had long hair, these nails, they looked like that. You got it going, baby.
Oh, word?
Yeah. I told her, "Let me get your number. And would you write it down on this piece of paper?" I don't use cell phones to get my number. I use pen and paper, baby.
A new realm of funk.
So I'm waiting on my Uber earlier.
What?
It's groove.
Planet Funk. Planet Funk.
No, I told him. jive sucker gonna come up to me the other day and say, I haven't heard heavy metal. I said, you better listen.
Otter Funk in Otter
Listen to the
Space.
Podcraft too. This is fire right here, man.
A new
Okay,
wave
Otter.
of funk.
Shout out to Just J. Always doing something innovative, motivative.
All right. That was Planet Funk by Jedi, Otter, Shaman right there. Man,
Was that funky?
absolutely.
Yeah. You're supposed to say what?
Mhm.
That was dope. Shut your mouth. Don't say it again. Yo, that was dope, man. Yo, I know that was not sampled. That was played. So that's dope. Anytime someone come and play the instruments and you hear it, it's always automatic, man, because in the day age we live in, we can't forget about original music, man. Just do something to instead of, loops is dope too. Just they had to play that too, but that was funky, man. No
Yeah.
doubt.
Really well done. Well put together. It's funky. It's nice. The mix is good. Really got in the groove. Started feeling it immediately. But shout out to Jedi, Otter, Shaman. That song was called Planet Funk, and that's definitely marketable right there. You definitely get that song placed in something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Good track. That's all you can say about that. We're gonna have the link to the artist in the description after the show. But that's what's up.
Yeah, that was dope. That was dope. Somebody said instrumental was good. Okay, what else we got?
All right, next up.
I believe that's me.
Mm-hmm.
Get on the mic for the symphony.
We have an artist here,
Oh, Symphony never hit me back.
Savior, produced by Year of the Mosquito, Master of the Universe.
Shout out to the Mosquito.
Mm-hmm. He says, peace to the Podcraft, Royal Priesthood, and peace to the God Sector.
No doubt.
That's right.
Buzz, 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 buzz.
Let's go. Song is called Savior.
Hello, Mosquito.
Hello, Mosquito.
Fire. Damn. Send that through. Damn. Somebody rhyming on it? Oh, somebody on it, yeah. Ooh. Like that. Oh. Yeah. Peace and that's fire. DJ Just J, man, I'm waiting for the mix down.
Hello, Mosquito.
I'm here to crush. Yeah, come on. Without a doubt. Change gonna come.
Man, how'd you like that?
It was fire, man.
That
Like I
was
said,
cool.
yeah. Imagine KP, MK, and Jizzle on that. Yeah, that was fire. That was dope.
Year of the Mosquito.
Yeah, that was dope. Send that over.
Wow.
What year is it? The year of the Mosquito.
That's right. Yo, Priest likes it, man.
Yeah.
You have his email. You already know what's up. I don't gotta even say it.
Yeah.
Good track. It's soulful.
Yeah, very soulful.
You know, he knows how to pick the right samples.
Yeah, everybody got their style.
Yeah.
2150 AD.
If y'all don't know, Year of the Mosquito did tracks for Priest in Forest of the Happily Ever After.
Let the music save your life.
Yeah.
Man.
Very good producer.
You feel all right.
Great job. Great track. Good mix, as always.
1, 2, 9.
Year of the Mosquito, Master of the Universe. Straight fire, man.
Yeah. Big up to you, yeah, the Mosquito. As the music take it tonight. Feel all right. I'm looking at some 80s stuff right now. I like love 80 movies, man.
The movies from the 80s?
Yeah. I like the 50s too.
Yeah.
They didn't do too much special effects. I want to see how this thing comes. They better get it right. Like you said, now you got me thinking. I think Jafar got it. Sounds like him.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Mosquito said, peace, AD.
Peace, man. Great job again, man.
Just Jay said, me too. Yeah, they got to get it right, bro. I know they're going to get it right. Gano said something.
I'll say, you know, Priest likes it when he says send it over.
Yeah. Send it over. Send it over.
You know.
Yeah, you got things in the work, man.
I can already hear you on that, though. That's the thing.
We got some stuff coming, man. I don't want to. We got a Ty Phoenix remix coming soon too.
It's a lot, man.
That's gonna be fire.
We're getting to the point we literally have to hire some assistants.
I'm ready. We have
Priest needs an assistant.
We there.
And yeah, it's expanding, man. It's not easy to keep up with Priest.
Yep, we're gonna hit the road. I just got a nice flight, so we're gonna be announcing the tour soon coming up. Yeah, so we hit the road, man. Hit the road. Yeah, rap. Don't you come back no more, no more. There's a whole bunch of stuff we're working on.
Absolutely, and y'all already know. I'm gonna bring it on screen here real quick. Hold up.
I was gonna ask him about Sun C, Onyx.
Okay.
Yeah, what you said? All right.
I'm going to bring it on screen.
Let me look into the camera.
Y'all already know about kppodcraft.com. This is where it's at. This is where it's all going down. You guys can get information about the show. Stay up to date about the show. Let me zoom in a little bit. Boom. Front page, you can see that big red button. That is the link for the song promotion segment. Check out the banner, Priest.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking right at it. Hiding in plain sight. Get your music featured on Killah Priest Live Podcraft.
That's right. And all the information's up there about what you get.
Damn.
Industry audience access.
That's fire.
Y'all don't know who's watching right now. You know what I'm saying? How it works. The submission guidelines. This is dope. If you're an artist, if you're a DJ, if you're a rapper, if you're a singer, all kinds of that. You can do the audio places, which what we just played right now was an audio highlight, and we also did the full audio track for Year of the Mosquito. Mm-hmm. You can also do a placement that goes in the middle of the show. This is separate from the song promotion segment. Right. This is if we play it in the middle of even having a guest.
Yeah.
If you have a music video, we can do the song promotion highlight for 1.5 minutes or do a full music video. That's what most people will do, is do the whole video.
Yeah.
And you also have the option of playing your music video in the middle of the show. This is separate from the song promotion segment. And also, a new feature we have now is the post-show video play. This is where we play your music video on before the credits roll at the very end of the show.
100K checking your video, man.
100,000 subscribers on the Killah Priest podcast.
Over now, we over.
Oh yeah,
looking
over
towards 2.
101,000.
Yeah, looking for 2. 2 Pete, then a 3 Pete.
Yeah.
Then we in there. You know what I'm saying? You know, putting out music, getting things, big exposure. Yeah. Somebody said big exposure. Yeah. So yeah, man, that's it. Is that it?
Yeah. Just to finish up on this, you'll see the online form that you guys can fill out. You can put the links to your video right there. You can choose what placement you want to order, what kind of feedback you want to get. You know what I mean? Some people don't want us to say anything. If you want critical feedback, we can go in. If you want to just keep it light, we can keep it light. If you have questions about this, we have a frequently asked questions area that will answer most of the most common questions asked. And if you want to email me directly, you can email me directly right there. There's a button on the top for a direct super chat. If you want to send a super chat at any time that pops up on screen, you can do that through there. This is actually better than sending the super chat through YouTube. The merch area, obviously that's going to go into the This is the Killah Priest Podcraft merch right here. Completely dedicated to the show.
Yeah.
Sweatshirts, t-shirts, all that. Y'all already know. Pillows.
Yeah.
All kinds of things. We have a calendar section y'all can stay updated with. This will show any upcoming guests that we may have. If there's a gray box, you can see that it's no show. Like this Sunday, there's a no show. So you'll see the calendar about things. You also got the Royal Priesthood Wednesdays happening every Wednesday. So you will see the calendar and if there's any changes that will happen there. And there's a blog which is going to expand there also. So that is kppodcraft.com. On the bottom, see, this is what's playing right now. On the bottom, you got the Patreon. Follow Priest on Patreon. You can access that through kppodcraft.com. There's the Instagram. You also already be following Priest on Instagram, but if you're not, there's the link for that. It's also in the description. And on the bottom right, you'll see obviously killahpriest.tv is the official website for Priest. And this is completely dedicated to his music and everything. Discography is all up there and all that. We're also going to update that with the upcoming Swift as Light up there. And also, so there's discography and then there's also the shop on the top. That'll take you to the Killah Priest shop. This is where you can get what is in his inventory for sale. And we keep this pretty much updated. And this is where also you're going to be able to buy the Swift as Light CD, which will be available for you right there. That's how it's going to look. And the vinyl will be up there too. So all of the merch obviously is up there. Killahpriest.tv for that. And for the Podcraft, kppodcraft.com. All right. So that is that for that. Let me see if we have any more entries for the song promotion segment for today. Okay, so that's it for the song promotion segment for today. You guys have a whole week to submit for the next show, which is on next Thursday.
Yeah, this might. I might go on Patreon after this. You know what I'm saying? When we get it, we'll get quick shows like this. Get back. Definitely gonna do one in the tomorrow on the Friday. You know, you had to join the Patreon, man. I told you it'd be exclusive stuff on there too also. And then, you know, I'm talking to AD. We plan on doing something real special for y'all around my birthday. It's gonna take some good times. And we're gonna build. Thanks for trying to get it, man. Shout out to everybody who's getting the merch. Man, we almost sold out. So, you know, of the Abraxas too. So grab them. You know what I'm saying? It's $1. I'm letting you know it's $1 now. But you supporting because you want to get. That's it. But if you don't want that, you can get a whole bunch of other stuff on there. The merch. We ran out of the books and not getting no more for a minute until we start doing. We got the Swiftest Light coming. Shout out to my peoples. They know who they are. Working with them. And some other stuff. Shout out to Timbo King too, for tuning in, for real. Shout out to Stream Master Gano once again for building with us today. It was great. With that, man, what you think?
Next slide.
Let's get out of here.
We got something for them?
Yep.
Okay.
Let's get out.
See y'all next Thursday.
Look, Emerald City is closer and prettier than ever.
Launch the move, slowly, quietly, gently, foggy, tropical, misty delta, sickly elders, leaves 21, judging the zealous and the rebellious, the selfish, those jealous. Then we'll sit in the high places to the city slums. All failures, no health clubs or helpers. That's what the lack of wealth does. No access leads to a lackness to practice self-love. That's why I direct traffic towards Abraxas and rocket to Nebula. And according to the order of Melchizedek and the Masoretic text, you know I'm blessed with the esoteric. The angel Heru leave the nest. Start the crest, star the crest. The garden is blessed. After the devil was charged and confessed, we surrounded the courtyards looking for all the false gods to arrest. 12 of the judges sit in a huge mothership. Vehicle is like it's biblical. Levitical law split, then divided into two governments. After the Most High chastised, then he provided a new covenant for those who were misguided by the goddess and knew of the succubus and knew in the other glyphs. Shutter disc above the cliff in the upper mist. Chief cornerstone took peace from upon the throne. 8 hormones, now the sheep horns have grown. And to the Baphomet beast, to Alexander the Greece and Rome. Brimstone, fire, empire, messiahs their believers have known. They brought Jesus in front of Caesar alone. Give us Barabbas, kill him from Nazareth. And they were still blasphemous to the sky revealed chariots. They gathering at the Vatican to worship Satan and Saturn. Turn pagan and go back to the ancient Zoroastrian. Masons doing demonstrations while they hating on the poor Africans. And y'all will have fellowship with everything the devil get. Glorifying one another and causing crimes amongst brothers. And your hands high while we die and suffer. Missing fathers, crying mothers. We end up as martyrs or lying in gutters. Separate or partners. Why don't they love us? Cause these are the last days. Ski masks in the pathway. Cigarettes in the ashtray. Listen to what the liquor in the glass say. Read the scripture. See the mirror. Child to a man. Patches of gray. The clouds over land. We packed in those graves. The sitting crowd then stands. Reflecting the reaction replays. It's like we actually trapped in a maze. Rebel.
Toe